Don't run away. We've got a cool show. Find out what it's all about coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Holiday Inn, Hard Rock Parkway. We're focused on triumph over adversity, and we're speaking with last week's featured speaker at the HTC Real Kids Luncheon, Devon Harris. Good morning, Devon.
Greg.
Thanks so much for coming in early on a Thursday morning.
It's great to be back here in South Carolina.
Back in
Myrtle Beach.
In sunny Myrtle Beach. Of course, earlier this week we kicked off the grand opening of the Hard Rock Park out here next door with the Eagles. We're here on Monday, and the Moody Blues were here on Tuesday. Of course, the Sun Fun Festival's this weekend, and Julie Sluss was with us yesterday morning. But last Thursday, a week ago today, you were right here next door in the here in the Holiday Inn, talking to a big group of amazing kids. How was it?
That's simply amazing. I mean, those kids have experienced some incredible challenges in their lives. And it's amazing to see how they've been able to pull through it. And the thing that amazes and impresses me most about these kids is how wise they are beyond their years. It's just amazing to see how they can, even as children, cope with these really adult situations and come out okay on the other end.
And you were able to get that even in the short amount of time and spending time with them. I mean, it was that apparent. They've been through a lot.
It's very apparent. It's, you know, they're really powerful stories. It's a tearjerker. You know, I mean, I didn't because I'm big and tough, but but I didn't bawl, but I did, you know, shed a tear.
You did shed some tears, and I understood your presentation did the same for a lot of folks there in the room. It was very powerful. I didn't mention you're a three-time Winter Olympian, the author of a popular motivational book, Yes, I Can.
Yes,
but
I
of course,
can.
even more excitingly, the opportunity to have come out of what I believe abject poverty, living and growing up in one of the world's most violent ghettos, and clearly sharing a message with the kids in there that are going through a lot.
Well, you know, my background, I think, made it easier, very easy for me to share with these kids, because I faced some challenges in my life as well, as we all do, I believe. But yeah, I grew up in a place called Olympic Gardens in Kingston, and I joked with the kids last week, and I said, no, Olympic Gardens is not where we grow our Olympians in Jamaica. But a really tough ghetto environment today, even today, still.
Even today, they're in Kingston, Jamaica.
Even today, you know, it's still a very rough part of town to grow up in and to go visit. But fortunately, I was able to make it out, and so now I get to hang out with you in Myrtle Beach. It doesn't get any better.
It doesn't. Myrtle Beach is a wonderful place. Of course, you now reside in, is it New York?
I live in New York, yes.
Right.
I'm a big city kind of guy. I've been actually living there for 15 years now. It's been a while.
Years.
Yeah, hard to believe that.
Wow.
I'm having a great time. Or should I say I stay in New York, but I tend to travel around the place a bit.
That's right. Awesome. You're a very popular motivational speaker. If a viewer needs to get off to work now or get family out of the house, the best place to learn about you, I guess, is your website?
It's my website, devonharrislive.com. That's the place to see me.
harrislive.com, and there is tremendous info on there. I actually went in there early this morning, clicked on some videos there. Folks are able to watch the big bobsled experience. I believe was it 88 or 92?
Yeah, there's the crash, the crash scene around the world. Was back in 88 and a 4-man event in Calgary. As we're coming down, having really the best run for us that day. And at the end of corner 9, we crashed in a rather spectacular way. And so now everybody remembers, the Jamaica Bobsled team remembers that crash.
I bet. It's powerful online, just watching, and that's the great thing about the internet, is the ability to see those. And even for our viewers, if they've got to get off to work now or get out of the house, they can come in tomorrow afternoon and watch today's interview, and we hope to get you back tomorrow as well.
Well, you know, I'll be here, so I look forward to coming by.
That's great. You know, you think about those experiences. You almost have preparing for the 1988 Olympics. I guess you'd had years of preparation leading up for that.
Well, that's a fair assumption, Greg.
Yeah.
But the truth is, when we got started, we had months.
Months?
Months. Our team got selected in September of 1987.
Right.
And by the way, the only thing I knew about the sport at the time, it was fast and dangerous. That's it. I could not describe a bobsled to you. I'd never seen one. I'd never been on a bobsled track. Had no idea what it looked like, where they did it.
Right.
And
yeah.
So the team got selected, and our first trip was to Lake Placid, New York in September of '87, right after the team selection.
Right.
And so we saw the track there. In September, there's no ice on it. So you see this huge piece of monstrous concrete, that's it.
Right.
With these, what you can perceive to be really scary, corners and curves and small straightaways, and you're sitting there, as you're picturing this thing hurtling down the track, you're going, how do they do that?
Yeah.
What have I gotten myself into? But we got started training in Jamaica. And how do you train for bobsledding in Jamaica?
How would you train for bobsledding in Jamaica?
Well, you import snow, man.
You import snow? Oh, come on.
No, what we did was that we had a makeshift sled on wheels, and we practiced the start. That's the only thing you can do.
Right, right.
And the thing is that it's really easy to be a Jamaican bobsled. I think we have proven that. And how? Because real bobsledding is only done in the wintertime. And there are only a limited number of tracks in the world. I think now maybe the last count is 15 or 16.
15 or 16 worldwide, yeah.
So there are a lot of countries, temperate climate countries, who don't have a bobsled track.
Right.
So what do? The same thing the Jamaicans do. They travel to the tracks.
Right.
So in the summer you do summer training, and in the winter you travel to the tracks to train.
Right.
So we got started a little late, admittedly. But so we practiced our starts in Jamaica for about 6 weeks, and we went to Calgary that October '87, and that was the first time I was seeing a track, first time we went on ice. We spent 6 weeks or so in Calgary, went to Europe, Innsbruck, Austria, stayed there until Christmas, went home for Christmas, went back to Lake Placid, New York, spent the month there, and then went to the Olympic Games.
Wow,
That
in
was
February.
In February of '88. So that was the sum total of my bobsled experience. The first major race we ever competed in was at the Olympic Games.
That is incredible. And I guess that would be, as you say, there are a lot of countries. I mean, there are other humid or tropical countries that put out bobsled teams, or no? Is this really the first of its kind?
Now there are others. There's the Virgin Islands, there's Mexico.
Yes.
Trinidad and Tobago has a team. Very good friends. Actually, we're all good friends.
Oh, yeah.
American Samoa.
Right, but y'all were the first in '88. I mean, that was the first that a tropical climate.
That was it right there.
Now, was it, of course, the Cool Runnings movie that got the other people to say, okay, we can do this now that it's even been made?
Probably. Who knows? I know the Trinidadian team, the driver for that team actually went to school with one of the guys from our team.
Right.
So he went back and he was telling him about the experience, and so he decided to start the team. So I know that much. The other guys probably were inspired by Cool Runnings, that's for sure.
Devon, yes. Of course, I hadn't shared that. We think about just being a 3-time Winter Olympian. We think about being the author of a book, traveling around the country, obviously, as a motivational speaker. But a lot of your life, I guess, to some degree, was highlighted in this very popular Disney movie, $100 million or more, and worldwide receipts.
I wouldn't say my life was highlighted. The movie is actually
loosely,
very loosely based on the Jamaican bobsled experience. So the movie tells the story of the original team, but in a Hollywood kind of way.
Oh yeah.
But having said that, though, I feel that they did a really good job of depicting the spirit of the team, underdogs, fighting to overcome, and certainly that is, if there's one lesson or message that I would want to go out there from our experience, is that you can face insurmountable odds, or seemingly insurmountable odds, but if you really apply yourself and look for the solutions, you can find them and become very successful.
Mm-hmm. That's powerful. That's powerful. And that is not only both the message you got out of your early childhood of coming out of Olympic Gardens and seeing insurmountable odds there, but clearly what the movie portrayed a much later stage in your life of the bobsled team.
Absolutely, and you know, obviously the movie is hugely popular, and the Jamaican bobsled team is incredibly popular around the world as well. And I think a number of reasons for that. And I think generally speaking, people have a romantic connection to Jamaica.
Right.
But beyond that, I think what we represented as a Jamaican bobsled team in Calgary is something that the average person, you know, everybody I think lives vicariously through athletes. They see
Right. Oh, yeah.
athletes as, you know, people who have done extraordinary things, and they
Right.
go, wow, I wish I could do that. Well, I think the Jamaican bobsled experience brought that experience, that whole philosophy closer to them, in the sense
Right.
that people can look at us and go, wow, these guys are from Jamaica.
Yeah.
No snow, no ice, and yet they are the Olympic Games.
Right.
Doing something that people thought was impossible, everybody said couldn't be done.
Right.
How many times in my own life have I wanted to do something and it just looked so far beyond my reach?
Right.
Or other people said to me, it can't be done, and I allowed those opinions, the ones I have and the ones that other people have,
Right.
encroached on me to stop me.
To seep in and stop.
Precisely. So when people see us, they're going, you know, if they did it, I can do it.
Right.
And so, you know, it's definitely one of the things that I'm proud of. I'm really happy that, you know, I was able to strive and step out of the box and go pursue this goal of being a Winter Olympian.
That is a great point. That is a great point. The ability to really connect with everybody worldwide in that perspective. The folks who sit there and think, you know, I've never been able to do that, and to see these guys do that. Of course, you all are Olympic material, clearly Olympians, clearly with not superhuman strength, but I mean in great shape, the ability to be handpicked. I think in reading a little bit about, as you said, some of the loosely based aspects of the movie, there were some great things. You all had corporate funding. You had to have corporate funding in real life to be able to travel all over the country to try to get ready for February, where the movie gave the impression that it was.
Greg,
Yeah.
I mean, one would think that, but we didn't.
No.
We didn't. Actually, the idea of the team
Right.
was that of two Americans who lived in Jamaica, and one of them, primarily George Fitch from Virginia,
Right.
he, in the first instance, bankrolled the effort,
Really?
expecting corporate funding to come in, and it didn't come. And I remember us being in Calgary, October
Right.
'87,
Right.
Black Friday or Black Monday, whichever,
Right.
the stock market crashed.
87, that's right.
And George saying, well, you know, guys, I've lost a lot of money on the market, and so you have two choices. You can go back to Jamaica and wait until the corporate funding comes, or you can stay here and subsist. And that was the first crossroads, actually, of the team. And we said we'd stay. So there
You
were
all
four
decided on your own, yeah.
Yeah, we were going to stay, you know, four of us in a little motel room in Calgary. I remember one evening after, I mean, a particularly long day of training,
Right.
having for dinner a drumstick, a roll, and not even the biggest soda, a small soda, starving. But we just decided that we weren't going to ease up or quit in any way, or compromise in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
But we would just fight. We'd keep going, and you know, we'd keep on pushing, which is my favorite phrase.
Yeah, but when it would have been so easy to give up there, as we think about it, you're a young guy, you're probably in your mid-40s now, so 20 plus years ago,
Yeah, I was
you're in your early
21.
20s. In your early 20s, you're sitting in a room, you just got hooked up back in September, so a month beforehand, all this stuff had really come together. So it's a month later, it would have been so easy to say, guys, let's head back home.